Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio. Yesterday we talked about losing weight for now, or losing weight for good. And I think most of you would agree that you would rather lose weight for good rather than just a momentary fix. The problem becomes the programs and the workouts and the nutrition that you're choosing to use. Are they in line with that goal? And what exactly are you going to lose on those programs? So a lot of times you get into these programs that are die-hard crash diets and you wonder, well, I'm going to lose weight on it, but is it the right kind of weight? So a lasting weight is a weight that obviously you've lost, but then you can maintain it, whereas a crash diet weight is something not really maintainable. So number one, it's not maintainable because you have a plan that you can't follow for life. It's really rigid, it's really strict, you can't continue that for much more than the length of the program, and a lot of people don't even make it to the end of a program. So you can have some 3, 6, 8 week programs that are really killer, and by the end of it you're just thanking God that you made it through it. Other people, they hit week 1, week 2, and they're done. They just can't handle it anymore. So some things to kind of consider as you're going through is, and what I'm fixing to do going to be maintainable? Is it something that I can get the help I need slowly with progress over time? Now I know a lot of times we don't want to think about losing weight slowly. We have things to do and we want to get them done now. But whenever we take our time to lose that weight, it's a little bit easier, a lot of times a lot easier, to maintain that weight loss later. Okay, so on to today's topic. Is a pound, and does it really matter what you lose? So a pound in measurement is a pound, no matter what it is, muscle or fat. You'll hear people say that a pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat, but technically a pound of muscle and a pound of fat weigh the same. It's just that a pound of muscle is much more lean and thin, much more dense than a pound of fat that's much more fluffy. So it's kind of like weighing cotton balls versus bacon. One would be thin and one would be fluffy, and they're going to weigh the same if you get a pound of each of them, but they look different. So that's the first step, is kind of understanding that there are differences, but it's not the weight difference in them. Okay, so if you have more muscle, you could weigh more as you become more lean because you're not as fluffy, but you have more density to you, and so that is a possibility. Now, when you go on these programs where you're going to lose weight, whatever they may be, what are you losing whenever you're talking about weight? You stand on a scale and it tells you a number, but it doesn't tell you what physiologically that you've lost. So number one, the first thing that you typically lose is water. It's truth. We tend to hold on to a lot of water. If you eat a lot of carbs during the day, for every gram of carb that you eat, you store 3 grams of water. So if you're eating carb after carb after carb and you do that day after day, you're going to constantly be holding on to water. The other thing is, if you're not drinking enough water during the day to hydrate your body fully, then it's going to hold on to water for you so that it can survive and do all the processes that it needs to do. So water is usually the first thing to go when you're eating healthy and when you are providing your body with the nutrition that it needs. So if you're taking out the carbs and focusing on vegetables and protein, that is a part of the picture, but not the whole picture. And you tend to lose water weight because you took out the carbs. Even if you're following a perfectly healthy plan, if you take out those carbs, you're going to lose some water weight. And if you increase your water intake, as silly as it sounds, you're going to lose water weight from that as well. So we're looking at, did we lose water weight? Well, yes. And what can water weight do to us? Well, it's really not great to carry around because number one, you weigh more, so it's putting more pressure on all your joints. And number two, it can actually cause more fluid around the joints as well. So even the ones that you're not standing on can still cause a lot of pressure and a lot of discomfort through those. And it means that your body's not functioning properly. So it starts to shut down its ability to function and to do the things that you want it to do, like walk and have energy and see your family and those kinds of things. So water weight's an important thing to kind of balance out and find the right level of. But if you go on a diet and all you lose is water weight, what was the point, right? Because you can eat carbs the next day and get the water weight right back, or you could stop drinking your water and get the water weight right back. So it wasn't really that much benefit as far as a long-term physiological benefit. So number two that you can lose is whenever people go on highly restrictive diets and they're doing long endurance cardio, they're running all the time or doing the elliptical all the time, or they're doing really heavy weight training and stuff, and they're really not fueling their body the way that they need to. Rather, they're restricting calories because we know that if we eat X number of calories a day that we'll lose weight. Well, the problem with that becomes that you start to typically lose muscle mass as you're doing that. You lose the ability, again, for your body to function at its optimal level, and you lose muscle mass through that process. So your body starts to store extra fat because it thinks that it's in some sort of a weird mode where kind of that starvation mode where you're not going to get enough food and it needs to have fuel to perform these things that you're doing. Even if you're not working out and you're just going through your daily tasks, it still has to have energy in order to do that. And that's not the energy that you feel where you're having an up day or a down day. That's the energy that your body actually needs in order to move. So it's like fuel for your car. We have to have enough of that in order to do our daily tasks. So whenever we are doing restricted calorie diets, we tend to lose that muscle. We tend to lose some water weight, but we really hold on to a lot of water as well. And you almost get that skinny fat appearance, if you will, where things are kind of sunken in, but you don't really have the muscle tone to help to look healthy and fit and those kinds of things. So it can get a little scary depending on how long you've been doing that for. And it really works against you because your body actually changes. We're so adaptable as human beings, and your body will change its resting metabolic rate to where you don't need as many calories in a function. So that means that then you have to eat even less to lose weight. So we try to outsmart our bodies, but our bodies are very smart, so they adapt very quickly, and we just have to know that what we're doing may not be the best thing for them. So number 3 that you'll lose during some sorts of diets is inflammation. Now, inflammation is a good thing to get rid of. Now, not all diet plans focus on this, but if you are eating according to your body's needs, nutrition-wise, and you're removing things that your body really doesn't process well, you have the opportunity to remove some inflammation. We're going to be doing this here pretty soon in our downsize program. That's about the first 3 weeks of it, is where we work on calming down the insides and getting rid of inflammation. We also do a detox program every now and then. That's a 3-week deal where we calm down the body and get rid of inflammation. And the reason we do that is because inflammation, people can carry around about 10 to 15 pounds of just inflammation on any given day. And so that's an extra 10 to 15 pounds that you could lose and that you really don't need. And that really is probably distending your gut. So if you know any men in your life that have kind of the distended belly, but they're very fit otherwise, that could be part of the problem, is in that inflammation. So that's where it's good to not do a crazy detox, like a little liquid fast, or doing the cleanses and all that stuff. That stuff's great and everything, but really just doing a food-based detox where you're eating, but you're taking out the things that are causing the problem can really make a huge difference for people. So you're losing water weight, you're losing muscle tone, you're losing inflammation. What else can you lose on a diet? Well, if you eat properly according to your body's needs, if you're eating a good balance of the right foods that your body accepts and processes well, and you're doing it in the right fashion, you can actually lose fat from it. That's the missing piece. So most places that are providing you with a short-term program, whether it's a book or a video series or a trainer or whoever, most places focus on, are they going to get the weight loss that they want? So you came in and said that you want to lose 10 pounds, and they're going to make sure that that scale says 10 pounds when you leave. But have they helped your health overall? Probably not. So in order to do that, we've got to look at losing inflammation and losing fat rather than just losing water and losing muscle tone. So in order to do that, we again have to really make sure that we balance the nutrition plan well to where it's not this crash diet thing, but rather something that can be maintained over time and something that can cause the body to really light itself on fire energy-wise and burn off that fat. So we really, here we put a focus on that to make sure that that's what happens over time. And most people in, say, our downsize program will lose anywhere from 1 to 2.5, sometimes 3% body fat within a 6-week period. And we show that through an ultrasound that we do. It's kind of cool. We get to see not only their lean mass, but their fat mass and their hydration levels and all those kinds of cool things. But we like to be able to show people what exactly they've done, and they can see a cross-section of their waist too. It's really awesome. So if you get to see that cross-section, then you actually look internally in the waist and you get to see the fat layers and the muscle layer and see kind of where you stand, where you're starting from, and where you're ending up at the end. And so that's really a neat thing that, to put that in perspective, if you take just like, say, a weight loss drug, the government drugs like Ally and things like that that the doctor would prescribe, it tells you on the package that you'll be doing good if you can lose 6% of your body fat in 12 months by using that drug. So that doesn't include activity and nutrition, because they know that most people who are willing to take those drugs are not willing to do the exercise and nutrition. That's not everybody. Not trying to offend anybody, just saying that most of the time that's how that flows. So whenever we look at that, where you could lose 6% in 12 months, and you compare that to our most recent downsize challenge that was 6 weeks, and we ate healthfully and we exercised in a moderate fashion. We weren't working out 3 hours a day. We do 30-minute workouts 4 times a week at the minimum. So 4 to 6 times they're coming in here for 30 minutes working out, and they are able to lose anywhere from 1 to 3% body fat during that 6-week period. So to me, that shows that you know, that it is possible. But that is the goal of any good and decent weight loss program, is to look beyond the scale, to know that there's more to that number, to that pound that you're wanting to lose, than actually just what the scale reads. And rather, it's about what you're actually losing. So if you're losing water weight, again, you know, people say, oh, it's just water weight. And that's one way to look at it. But another way is, yes, I got rid of that water weight. Now I can focus on what's left. So we don't want to be carrying around extra water. We don't want to be carrying around extra inflammation. We do want to be carrying around extra muscle. So a lot of people have a hard time mentally with that. And we'll talk more on that later. But where the scale goes up because we're building muscle, but the body is completely reshaping. That's where your friends are like, oh my gosh, what have you been doing? You look so great. But you're like, man, the scale, it keeps going up and it's making me mad. So in that case, get off the scale. Okay, so if you can reshape your body and start to build that muscle mass, that's going to burn off extra fat as it is. So we've got the water weight, the inflammation. We want that muscle mass. We want to lose that extra fat. So we have to have a certain amount of essential fat in order to live. Our bodies have to have that, but we do not need to carry around the amounts that we typically do. And like I said, some of that is fat, some of it is inflammation. There's lots of different reasons for it. But you want to make sure that whatever program that you are choosing is well centered around your wellness and your health, because whenever you make the body healthier, that weight is going to shed itself. There won't be a need to carry it around because you'll be doing things more correctly through nutrition and exercise, as well as your lifestyle choices. So if you would like more information on how you can come in and get one of those really cool ultrasound scans, or just come in and talk to us more about what we could do to help you to make sure that you're getting the results that you want and that your body needs, we'd love to have you give us a call, 806-322-3188. If you want to be part of our next Downsize Challenge, it is the last one for 2017. It's coming up on October 30th. We've got to get you in that week before so we can do an onboarding session with you, so don't delay on getting registered for that. Comment below, I'm in. I'll be happy to send you over the registration form, or give us a call at the studio and we can send that over to you. So we'd love to have you in that if that's something of interest to you. I know it sounds crazy to do those kinds of things during the holidays. It feels like you won't have any control, but it'll actually help you to have more control during the holidays. It'll help you to have less cravings, more energy, and it'll give you a head start on January, so you don't have to be that person walking in January trying to figure out how to get the motivation to take care of what you put off during the holidays. So I hope that gives you some help today. Go out and drink enough water today and start to eliminate those carbs a little bit. Doesn't have to be completely, but start to lower those down a little bit. We don't need nearly as many as we eat. And I'll talk with you soon.